Hello, David Caudill coming at you, of course, and coming at you with a little observation that I made when I was going through this morning doing my Pinterest. Now, I'll show you here in a minute. Um, I'm always sharing my analytics in Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook ads, so on and so forth, Business Manager. And one thing that I noticed, and I've been noticing over basically since about December of last year. So it's something I've just kind of noticed over the last 60 days or so, is that once again, those my fellow marketers know that the the internet is ever changing. It's a super fast, rapidly paced industry that we work in. For those of you that do online marketing and so on and so forth, graphics, and couldn't help but notice that once again things are changing, and that is the infographics and the tools or the materials as far as the the graphics that are used in infographics. Now, if you go back through last year, you'll notice that it was almost always, if there was an infographic created, it was created like something like this. It used icons, and mainly a lot of the flat, what they call the flat icons. But if you'll notice on this Pinterest search that I did, that the infographics are changing to more like, I'm going to use the term of stock photos, or or self photos. And I think that just by looking at this little screen capture here, you can see what I'm saying is true. You see a lot more with actual, like I say, stock photos than you do of infographic, or I mean, icons and stuff. Now, as we get back into some of the older infographics, you will notice that what I was saying was true. You'll start seeing that there's more and more along the lines of the, I don't want, I don't know, I don't really know what to call it. I'm going to say cartoon style, with, like I say, the flat icons and so on and so forth. But you noticed, I'm sure that you just noticed that, as I pointed out, the more up-to-date, more recent infographics are using a lot of stock photos. Now, some of you will agree and won't agree. Now, a lot of it has to do also with such things as, what are you making the infographic for? If it's Facebook, Twitter, something along that lines. Well, as you can see, it's infographic. But if you're using something along the lines of, if you're doing like a travel, maybe even a web design, um, something along that lines, well, of course, then you want to use the most realistic images that you can. But this is something I've been kind of keeping an eye on, because I guess I'm just slow. But about the time I start designing and doing my own infographics, I notice that once again it's changing. So, this is just a little bit of just a little tidbit of information that I hope it's planted the seed, and maybe you'll start watching them as well, and we can share some information. So I'm getting ready to do a update blog post. Some of you may or may not have may remember that. Oh, I don't know, about 4 months ago, I went through and cleaned out was going through and was cleaning out for instance, my FileZilla. I'm getting a lot of old files off my server because the old HTML sites, this is for instance, here's one, are not mobile friendly. They are not responsive, as you can see, at all. And yes, Google did start their secure website updates, I guess. So if you don't have an HTTPS at the beginning of your URL, if you just have HTTP, they will, and if it's got a payment button or something like here, let's see, it'll bring it up. Okay, it didn't, but let's go back. But it'll say, hey, you know, this is not secure, blah 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 blah. And in the event that it is a secure site, it will have right here. You'll see it has a little lock, and it will say secure. You notice here, let's go to the info. This site is not secure. You should not enter any sensitive information on this site. Now, since I use PayPal and JV2, you know, they are secure. They're as secure as anything can possibly be online. Okay, so yeah, I don't know who came up with this great idea. To me, because you used to be able to purchase SSL certificates for a little of nothing. Of course, now it's like, you know, the forced car insurance, the forced medical insurance thing. It went from a few dollars to, you know, some decent chunks of change, and I'm sure it's going to only increase due to the fact that now, you know, you either have that or you're labeled as insecure, and that just, yeah, that really bites. Again, you can see right here, because I do not have an HTTPS, yeah, it's they're going to be, Google is going to label you, so to speak. But yeah, like I say, you know, doing a lot of updating, and I want to share with you that I'm going to go through and show you how you can take your old HTML sites or even an HTML template and use WordPress to bring them all up to date, or to make the HTML sites responsive, or the template that you may be using. And yeah, this is something that I created, I guess, about a year ago now. And as you can see, now you may have noticed that the top header here was responsive. See there? But, and the image is somewhat responsive. Once I load all this stuff up to WordPress, now you got to be using a responsive theme, of course. And I'll explain all this in great detail and more detail in my blog post and video series. It's going to consist of at least 3 videos in the series, and I will that video series will be included in the next 3 days worth of blog posts starting today. Alright, that's it. I've rambled on long enough, and remember, this is David Caudill, and to your success, we wish the very best. Have the day that you deserve. Bye-bye.